Hello, and welcome to this edition of Accenture's Technology Vision for Insurance 2015 podcast series. Mark Halverson, Managing Director of Accenture Insurance, is with us to discuss the platform revolution, one of the major trends to emerge from this year's Tech Vision. The digital industry platform has not only become a prominent feature of today's business world. What's more, platforms and the ecosystems they invariably enable are fueling the next wave of breakthrough innovation and disruptive growth. How are we seeing this trend play out in insurance, Mark?
Insurers have absolutely started to embrace the concept of ecosystems. Many of these insurers are starting to understand that their core value proposition may not be viewed as a retail value proposition or the lead value proposition to many individuals. And frankly, the brands don't necessarily support them being that lead offer. So we're seeing many firms start to embrace the ecosystem concept so that they can bridge to a higher and larger percentage of the needs and intentions that people are seeking to address. So for example, we've seen some unlikely folks start to team together into new ecosystems to explore new opportunities. In one case, American Family has actually linked up with Microsoft Ventures to explore the home automation market. And there's quite a few different areas where they can potentially gain value in this. One, they're learning to understand the risks associated with homes, which will enhance their current business and perhaps help their loss ratios. Secondly, we'll start to identify new technology that can be used in the home. They will be one of the first to be there understanding what that technology can do and therefore what the implications to risk are, which may make them one of the most effective insurers of homes in a connected home type of world. And thirdly, they have the opportunity to actually change their business model and perhaps even move revenues towards royalties and or capital gains as they begin to invest more directly into some of these technologies. So we've seen some really interesting examples of exploring new business models within insurance.
When we talk about a digital platform, what do we mean exactly?
So when it comes to digital platforms, what we're typically describing is a blueprint or an API set that allows a crowdsourced environment to actually come in and take advantage of some of the insight and capability that we've established. Those that are perhaps best known for that, Apple, Facebook, Salesforce.com, they've created a cloud-based environment where a whole series of people who can come in, access the API set, build on capabilities, and create new services and new offerings that were never even contemplated when the original platform was created. It enables a much broader array of new opportunities to emerge, and it creates an environment where the services are not bound by one company, but instead allow for a much broader set of individuals to weigh in.
Can you give us an example of such a platform that touches the insurance industry?
Perhaps the two best examples are in auto and healthcare, and there's multiple ecosystems that have been created there. OnStar, as an example, has been an excellent one. That started with a specific role of being a safety offering within cars and has now been extended to be something much, much more. And it can be extended to be an infotainment capability. It is safety. It links to insurance companies. There's many, many different services that have been created around the OnStar platform. And that is one of the unique opportunities that we see. In healthcare, you see Apple's HealthKit is a simple example, where there's, again, an opportunity for a crowdsourced environment to come in, pick up the APIs, and begin to build services that perhaps were never intended, but can be very, very sophisticated and grow at very rapid pace.
In such an ecosystem, who owns the customer? And should insurers be tapping into other industry platforms or creating their own?
This is a key question for insurers. As we've touched on, their brand may not be the strongest in the retail marketplace. So the ownership of that experience and the ownership of the customer relationship needs to be examined in multiple different ways. So the core value proposition that the insurer brings may not be the front face of a service or offering. So the ownership of the customer is a key challenge because they need to recognize that the brands are not always extensible to play that role. So to bridge into, and what we're seeing a lot more often, is to begin to embed their capabilities, embed the insurance, embed the real-time pricing into other offerings that are a positive part of people's daily lives directly. We see that as a very key approach. Although many insurers are creating apps to place on one's iPhone, it's actually quite rare that individuals are out seeking the 213th application to download on their phone from their insurer. What we find is that it's going to be very important to consider what that ecosystem and brand ecosystem is and where the insurer will play in the life and being a positive part of people's daily lives. So not obvious who is going to own the customer in this scenario, but insurers have to be open to exploring multiple different angles.
Mark, I appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Not at all. I certainly enjoyed it.
You've been listening to Mark Halverson, Managing Director of Accenture Insurance. If you'd like more information on how Accenture can help, please visit accenture.com/digital insurer.